Up on the live. Right now. Only per day gone left me already, so right now I just have to jump on. Right now. So why you plug out that? Plug in the back now. Please. Plug it in back now, mommy. What is this? What is plugging at? That can plug out. Can plug out. Why me I tell you say Digicel on a fail, brother. Big time. So I make you know that. Big time. Digicel fail.
Yes.
Wagwan Karen, Digicel fail, brother. Can't believe Digicel fail, sir. Think say after Digicel I go on all good. I try to get us some lime credit from yesterday. I'm gonna get the lime credit off. No. People are trying to help me, but I just say go still. What is to be must be, what is not will not. Alright people, let me just go up on my other live over here, so. Alright. Lorna, how you doing? Good day to you guys. Share up the live for me, please. Share up the live for me here. You can't believe that people still have ball out fast profit in them time, man. Yo, them people are really sick in the head, yeah, man. Them people genuinely believe that them people are sick in the head. There's just no way. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way we're there so right now and people still talk about fast profit. With this a disaster, unprecedented, never been seen before in the history of the Caribbean. Right? The worst storm, the worst hurricane that ever come through this place. And we have people talking about what do you call it? False prophets. Why may I tell you the Bible never wrong? The Bible says if they don't have vision, they will perish. And that's exactly how what happened to them people. Can you imagine people still defend Andrew Holness? People still defend Andrew. Andrew Holness, I defend Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness, I defend Andrew Holness. Come on in, guys. Say hello as you come in and hit the like button. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, my good people. Don't be shy. I do not bite. As long as you're respectful, I keep it respectful. And we keep it moving. Where all my people at? From the other day, I get some new subs over here now. One World Plan, Mark of the Beast, the PM wants people to die so they can build smart cities and implement the needs. Mighty God. Coming from Karen. We are in business, ladies and gentlemen. We are in business. We're in our business. We're in our business. We're in our business. I hope you guys are you know, me just hot. Me hot today. Not as in I'm hot as in I'm, you know, me I feel myself, but me hot today. Me just want to feel cool. So me in my tank top. Alright? I hope that is not a problem. Okay guys, please work with me. You know what? Let me just get that other stand and put it on, put it away. My mother, mommy, Give me a second, people.
Yes, that is another thing. So we will over. All right. So that could be the point. But they believe in forward. All right. No problem. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Nice.
Although right in there,
Nice, 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 nice. Emergency. We are so far around here, man. Things so far around here. Straight emergency. Alright. Ah, there we go. There we go. Can just turn this up like so. Boom. Boom. Right there, so. That is it. That is it, my people. That is it. Let me turn on a Bluetooth box.
Bluetooth mode.
Oh, yeah, me. Bluetooth mode. Oh. Bluetooth mode. Giving the people some time to come on in. Say hello. Yes, it's connected. Perfect. Perfect. God is the only way, Jamaica. God is the only way. God is the only answer. On a politician, on a bro devil is not the way here. Just understand that. Somebody sent me a voice note.
This government is such a wicked and caring and devastating and goodness. You ever look on this man what he do this? You ever look on that glasses? You ever see the evil in all of this?
My God.
Not just that. The Prime Minister go to some of these areas one time
Listen this.
and promise the people the same come. And he never go back.
You hear that?
Even if he never go, he have delegates just say.
Ah.
But when confronted by the PNP, he said the PNP lie. He said people are lying.
Wicked, wicked
They
boy.
will use that one video when they drop it to prove say him went there. Him went there with him two long hands. Not even a truck or a van with bodies behind him going there. Him just shake hand. All him could do is shake the people hand and that.
I'm gone.
The man is a wicked man. You know you're going to devastate if there are people who have needs and you go there, you don't care nothing. You don't care nothing. The man is a wicked man. Yeah, man. Bless you, Bolo. Have a great day.
Big up yourself, my general. ODPEM head pledge modern efficient disaster. No. So this story has popped out, right? About the ODPEM. And I am a bit confused. So I need some clarity. First of all, what is the mandate of the ODPEM Jamaica? Let me just look at this. I don't want no AI, brother. All right. Mandate of the office of the ODPEM is to lead the process of reducing impact of disasters on Jamaica through comprehensive disaster management. Key responsibilities and function: national coordination, acting as the national disaster organization responsible for disaster management in Jamaica and playing a coordinating role in emergency response and relief operations during major disaster events. Preparedness, keeping the nation in a perpetual state of readiness to respond to hazard and risk. This involves ongoing public education, training for first responders and communities, and developing warning systems. Mitigating and planning, taking actions to reduce the impact of disasters on Jamaican population and economy. This includes preparing disaster risk management. Also, response and recovery, coordinating efforts to address emergencies and facilitate recovery and rehabilitation following disasters. Local support, serving as the chief liaison for parish disaster committees and other local disaster risk management (DRM) structures, providing technical advice and support to local actors and facilitating training and project implementation at the local level. Legal framework, operating under the DRM Act of 2015, which outlines its authorities and responsibilities in managing all aspects of disaster risk management. Not part of the aspects, all aspects of disaster risk management. In essence, the ODPEM on all phases of disaster management cycle: prevent, protection, mitigate, response, and recover to build disaster resilient nation. Carmen, how you doing? Good morning. MM Mill, big up yourself. Wells is here. Karen is here. Bless upon yourself. Like and share the video. So, I'm going to go to the video because I think my sister, two persons, I saw, I believe, and I'm freestyling, guys. Deon Jackson Miller. Right here, so.
That the real gaps.
Listen to this.
That is not as forward, not necessarily feel. In a sense, is to that.
Permanent head appointed for an extended period of time that were announced to ODPEM in this area.
Listen.
So that was one of my questions. Mike Deon Jackson Miller, TVJ. The changes that were announced to ODPEM seem designed to allow ODPEM to do exactly what it was set up to do, which is lead effectively from the front. But what we've seen over the years is an organization that seems to have been weakened, no permanent head appointed for an extended period of time, and ODPEM publicly sidelined during periods of disaster. So aren't the changes, even taking into account the excellent capabilities of the JDF, haven't these changes been made necessary because the office has been so weakened?
So, under the Jamaica Labour Party, the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Risk, ODPEM, has been weakened. Doesn't this sound familiar? The Office of, not the Office of, the Integrity Commission. Aren't they weakening the Integrity Commission? Haven't they been trying their utmost best to do so? FID. Now, Andrew Holness' friend over there as the director. Isn't he supposed to be investigating Andrew? How is that going? Are we seeing a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen? Are we seeing a pattern here? This government is weakening all of the institutions, and it's a takeover. Weaken, and then they take it over. Right? And they put in their people. And all of these offices are going into the office of the Prime Minister. So now, the ODPEM should be really operating on its own. There's an act, just like the IC has an act that delegates legally, that really tells them, like, this is what your mandate is, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and there's a structure. Now, you're Andrew Holness now.
You know, ADPEM over many years developed a sterling reputation for disaster, preparedness and emergency management, and several of the heads of ADPEM have gone on to play leading roles in the Caribbean. There is no denying that over time, that capability and prominence was not as it was in previous times.
So, who for fault that? Whose fault is it that, according to you, that ADPEM is no longer the ADPEM it was before? Is it a brain drain because all of these people that was there is gone? So why haven't you appointed anybody else? Why isn't there anybody else there? Look at the question that Dean Jackson Miller asked. You get what I'm saying?
There are several factors that contribute to that. One of them would be the level at which the executive leadership was remunerated. In other words, you know, for a job such as what is the task of ADPEM, the salaries did not keep pace because just from a competitive point of view.
Isn't that the same thing that has been happening with the teachers and with the nurses? They have not been paying them, so they paid themselves 200 to 300% increase. But these entities that are so important to our economy, keeping stability and keeping resilience, the ODP plays a big role in that. I just read it a while ago, right? Preparing ourselves for disaster so it does not affect our economy in a massive way. So why in God's name aren't you guys paying these people more money? But see fit to pay yourself. Right now, all of it, listen to me, Andrew only should be leading from the front. Cut your salary in half. Send that money for the people of Jamaica now. That should have happened 10 days ago. That should have happened 10 days ago. Half of Andrew Holness' salary should have gone into aiding the people in St. Elizabeth, Manchester, East Portland, Westmoreland, Trelawney, Mandeville, Hanover. All of these places that are massive. St. Mary. I hear that there's massive damage in St. Mary to people. People voted for them in all these areas. In every area in Jamaica, people voted for the Jamaica Labour Party. And furthermore, even if they didn't, you are the government and you are supposed to work for everybody in the country and for their betterment. And they have been disenfranchised by this thing, right? I know you come in want to dismantle the ODP and fix it in your office how you want. Leave them to be independent, just like how you should leave the office of the ombudsman. The man is putting everything in his office. The man is micromanaging everything like him as a dictator, and he has been a failure at it. And I believe that's exactly what he wants to do. This is deliberate, destroying all of the mechanisms, bringing Jamaica to its knees. I am telling you, in my opinion, the Jamaica Labour Party should be tried for humanitarian crimes against the Jamaican people. Literally.
If you want the best people, you have to pay well. And the best people are being competed for.
Oh, so why you never pay them well, but you pay yourself well? You know that, but you never pay them well. Your government never raised the bar for their finances. So that means you guys deliberately left the office to die. You understand what was happening. You understand that people were leaving because, well, them just not get the money what them need to survive. Miss Chicago, oh my God, Miss Chicago, bless you, my love. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Right?
Or with other entities all over the place. So Jamaicans who have the capabilities are being pulled all over. And so we, even now as we speak, ADPEM is still in this process of the compensation review. And that in a sense, is probably the main issue. We have had several disasters before. And, you know, so if you were to say...
Huh? Who that? Which container that? Where that come from? No. What I'm saying, where you get that news from?
On the YouTube where it says propaganda.
Oh, okay.
How would you judge ADPEM in preparation, in standing up the preparation for disasters? I think you would say that the preparation for disasters went well. So even with...
First of all, I'm not even going to blame ODPEM in terms of preparation. I am not. I am blaming the government. The drains that are supposed to be clean, that is not ODPEM. The government is supposed to allocate funds to make sure that the drains are maintained in a certain way. And this is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister's wife did not want the People's National Party members before the storm to ask critical questions, because they were asking those critical questions in regards to the drains. Right? The drains were not kept in a way, and as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, God forbid, a tropical storm, not a hurricane, God forbid a tropical storm was to pass over Jamaica right now, and in Kingston especially, you would see mass flooding and destruction. Not a hurricane, you know, a tropical storm. Water. You would see mass flooding. Because why? They have not been kept in a way that they should be kept. Right? The roads haven't been kept in a way they should be kept. This government has removed there was an act for road maintenance, a road maintenance fund. Gone. Delete. Them come with spark. I know the spark can't spark. All the infrastructure of Jamaica is being torn down. Why? You have to ask yourself the question, is it because there's entities outside that want to build back Jamaica stronger? So does this try to flatten it and make we build back? Is that the reason? I ask one question. I'm asking a question. Is that the reason?
Not having necessarily the strongest executive leadership, we were still able to mount a credible preparation.
Nothing credible about it. Nothing credible about the preparation. Not a thing not credible about it. Like I said before, days, if that storm had hit immediately, you would have seen how credible their preparation was not. You would have seen the 100% level of how much the preparation of the Jamaica Labour Party government under Andrew Holness was not credible. If this storm had hit Kingston, you would have seen it even worse, even with all of their efforts to move sediments out of Sandy River Gully. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how much more homes would have been destroyed if that hurricane had gone into Kingston and entered right there in Kingston. You know how many of those buildings, those nice buildings, office buildings, would have been totally demolished by these winds and debris being thrown all over the place. The devastation that you're seeing in St. Elizabeth, if it had hit Kingston, because of the water and the drains them, I'm telling you, it would have been 10 or 15 times more devastating. Real talk. They said it's $2.5 trillion in damages. If it was Kingston, because that's that is our capital, the damage that would have been in Kingston, Portmore. Oh my God. Listen, people, you probably would have reached $6 trillion worth of damages. I kid you not. All of the main infrastructure in Jamaica is in Kingston. All of the operation of Jamaica is in Kingston. So just imagine if the storm had went there, right? I'm going to make him go and talk, because I'm going to show him one video where I talk. I thought this is not all.
So even with not having necessarily the strongest executive leadership, we were still able to mount a credible preparation. During COVID, which was a kind of different disaster than what ODPEM would have been used to, ODPEM did not necessarily feature so much in the preparations, but they did come in and work very well in the emergency management, and not much credit has been given to ODPEM in ensuring that our BPO sector and some other business and commercial operations were able to operate.
This is the building them up to tear them down moment. Just wait for it.
They set standards, they went in and inspected, they gave advice, they gave directions as to how businesses should be structured. That is not as forward-facing and recognized, but they did an extremely good job during that period of time.
No, he just mentioned that ODPEM didn't necessarily have anything to do with the preparation for the storm. That was the government. Listen to this.
Northwestern end of the island, that wherever there's tolls, commercial property as well, and damage to our road infrastructure. But I think that, you know, we have mounted a very credible and strong preparation and recovery strategy, and that will help us to ensure that our citizens who may now be facing hardship, they can have confidence that the government will be able to reach them immediately after the storm is passed.
People, that did not happen. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. Right now, as we speak, there's areas that are marooned, that people have not been reached. You cannot drive, go in there. You got to walk. You know what a father did? A father, it came on the news. A father had to take a bike. And even with a bike, they had to lift the bike in certain areas to go to other parts of the road, up the road where they can actually ride the bike. The bike cannot traverse the road. That's how bad the road is. You cannot carry a bike and ride it all the way up into those communities. The road them break off. The man them have to walk with the bike in their hands on foot. And this man came on CNN 10 days ago and told the world that he and his government can reach the people immediately after the storm. And he just admitted that ODPEM is not responsible for that side of things. Right? Their mandate is quite clear. They are more information based. You understand what I'm saying? And recommendation based. Right? Letting people understand what the do's or don'ts and what not to do. Make sure you cut down trees. Those type of things. How you doing, Sassy? Liz Wint, big up yourself. He is the true criminal in Jamaica. Why he want to control Jamaican social media. Oh, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not even talking about that right now. Let's get back to this.
Granted, in COVID, it would have been the Ministry of Health that would have taken over most, for good reason, of the emergency management. In the other storms that we have had, the impact clearly is of no magnitude like this. The last one that we had, which was Berry, exposed some weaknesses. And the government, therefore, took the actions of one, doing a review. And persons were wondering, why am I doing a review? Everything you got to review. Some comments that I have seen. Yes, very important. Because as your question would say, you know, does ODPEM have the capability to respond to a disaster like this? And I saw.
Does ODPEM have the capability to respond to a disaster? You see, I told you, you know, he was building up ODPEM to tear them down.
I saw some weaknesses. I saw some gaps. I saw some.
Could he expound on the weaknesses and gaps? He's acting as if he's the expert on how to respond to a category 5 hurricane. Meanwhile, his subordinate, his colleague, Desmond McKenzie, came on the same platform on JIS and was defending the government, saying you cannot prepare for a category 1 hurricane. You cannot prepare for a category 5 hurricane. So how is he the expert on preparing? More than the ODPEM, you know. Andrew Holness looked at the ODPEM and saw gaps and weaknesses. And then listen to what is going to come after that.
You know, spaces that need to be filled. But I am not the technical expert. So I asked someone.
Andrew Holness is not the technical expert, but he looked at ODPEM and saw gaps and weaknesses. That is a contradicting statement, ladies and gentlemen. You're telling me that the ODPEM is so incompetent over the years that somebody that does not have the technical experience can look at ODPEM and see gaps and weaknesses? The level of disrespect and sheer nonsense coming out of this man's mouth is absolutely ridiculous. How in God's green earth you can make a sentence like that? Whose man's is this? Where did he get his education? I never go to college, but damn, you are not the technical expert. But you see weaknesses and gaps in the ODPEM. How long has ODPEM been operating? Let me look at that. Let me Google that. How many years has the ODPEM been found in Jamaica? Been in Jamaica. Let me just put been in Jamaica. Let me see how many years. 45. Over 45 years. An office that has been operating over 45 years, that has had a litany of professionals pass through it with certain levels of expertise. So their expertise left the office. You're telling me that there's no structure at the ODPEM to, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no structure at the ODPEM to multiply, to continue the work that is necessary from that those experts granted might have learned from the ODPEM being there with other professionals, right? You're telling me there was no osmosis. You're telling me that over 45 years of experience that the ODPEM could not duplicate. That's the word I'm looking for. You're telling me the operations of the ODPEM could not be duplicated because one or two persons that is at the top left. I'm not taking away from the experience, but you're telling me that there wasn't somebody there as an apprentice, as an assistant, just like how you have the office of the DPP, where she had people that was working with her, that was working with her for years, that took from her. And those experiences, you're telling me that there's no professional at the ODPEM. Andrew Holness just had to get the ODPEM in his office. That is what you want to convince me of? And this office that's there for over 45 years. You're telling me that Andrew Holness, that is not a technical expert, by his own admission, saw gaps and weaknesses. Mighty God of Daniel. Mighty God of Daniel. What a guy.
Who is an expert in this field.
Eh?
Former Chief of Defence Staff, now Ambassador.
Go back.
Cases that need to be filled. But I am not the technical expert.
Go back.
John would say,
Go back.
does ODPEM have the capability to respond to a disaster like this?
Jesus.
And I saw some weaknesses.
What a guy.
I saw some gaps. I saw some.
I really wish somebody, I don't know if any of the journalists, you know, I need to be a journalist in real life. You know, I need to be at the press conference here. Mr. Holness, sir, I have a couple of questions. You're not a technical expert. And for an office that is there for over 45 years, there must have been some duplication in their process and how they deal with things. So how is it that you that have no technical expertise, right, actually found weaknesses and gaps? That's my first question. And I would like you to expound on what those weaknesses and gaps are. Give us 5 of them, please. Yo, it would have just done, you know? It would have been over. It better time going yard when me don't ask him one question. Listen, hey, Paula, I don't know, baby. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Spaces that need to be filled. But I am not the technical expert. So I ask someone who is an expert in this field, former Chief of Defence Staff, now Ambassador, to lead a team to review not just ODPEM, but the entire emergency response management of the government. And that report was very useful to us in what...
So he is not the technical expert. He saw gaps and then he went to a technical expert and asked him to review. But we have to remember that he was the one that first identified these gaps and these weaknesses of an entity that's over 45-year-old.
What we need to do to make ODPEM the emergency management entity that can respond to a Category 5.
So, for ODPEM to be able to respond to a Category 5, it had to go into the office of the Prime Minister. That makes sense to you? Does that make any sense? For the ODPEM to operate effectively, it had to be one of the many offices operating in the office of the Prime Minister. I really have to go back and look, you know. So, according to Google, the office of the ODPEM coordinates efforts to address emergencies, facilitate recovery and rehabilitation following disaster. So, getting food to the people and all of those things. The ODPEM in some effort would help with that, alongside entities like Food for the Poor. So why does this entity have to go into the office of the Prime Minister? I still don't get it. It don't make no sense. Even if they had weaknesses, they could operate independently. You identify the weaknesses, make recommendations, you hire this person, they actually say, all right, whatever, if it makes sense. But it's just the total disrespect of the people that work at the ODPEM. But we're going to get there. Let's hear more of this.
ODPEM has never responded to a Category 5 disaster. And as a
So because they have never responded to it, you who have never seen a Category 5 hurricane, you who are not a technical expert, saw gaps because you know of it, you and Holness know of it. Are you make the storm? Are you the one that created the storm? Me just ask because that's the only thing that makes sense for me. How you doing, Denika? He wants to have control of what's coming in. Can we get a round of applause for Denika, please, for that comment? This to me is all about control. This to me has nothing to do with strengthening the ODPEM. You understand? The offices that are in the office of the Prime Minister are muzzled. You soon see the FID in the office of the Prime Minister, if it's not there already. Is the wait, let me check that. I thought I just said something. Wait a minute. I just let me check that. Lord have mercy.
It's an important point to make. This is not a normal hurricane. So you can't judge the response of the government by virtue of, you know, what it has done in the past. This is a new level of disaster.
So, Andrew Holness said that you cannot judge the government for their response because this is a disaster that we never seen before. Bullshit. Because you, Andrew Holness, gave yourself an A-. So if you can give yourself a good grade, that means that you have the ability to grade yourself. That means that we have the ability to grade you too. You remember when him say the government response to this thing in the early stages is an A-. And Isabel Rose, me cannot believe the man said that is an A-. May I talk about probably the first day after the storm. And now that the criticism is coming in, rightfully so, because people are dead for hunger for days. Are dead for thirst for days. I watch one truck on one video earlier, and the truck a drive past the people them. And I'm telling you, the people ran and hop. I saw a little girl running and hopping onto the truck. She could have died. She could have got injured just to get water. And this man is going to tell us, and this is not the government sending in that water, you know, it's private entities, it's people. And this man is going to tell us that you can't judge the government. And you know what vexed me? Is the smile he has on his face. Andrew Holness is the happiest man in the world. I don't understand these people. I really don't.
And we need to empower, structure, support, provide the resources, and encourage and acknowledge the efforts of the persons who are now on the front line of Jamaica's response to the disaster. Thank you for the question.
And in fact,
yo, man, I tell you, the man pissed me off, yeah, man. People, listen to this.
And recovery strategy, and that will help. I think that, you know, we have mounted a very credible and strong preparation and recovery strategy, and that will help us to ensure that our citizens who may now be facing hardship, that they can have confidence that the government will be able to reach them immediately after the storm is past.
This is a new level of disaster. And we need to empower, structure, support. So you can't judge the response of the government by virtue of what it has done in the past. This is a new level of disaster.
Citizens who may now be facing hard hurt, I think strong, we have mounted a very credible and strong preparation and recovery strategy, and that will help us to ensure that our citizens who may now be facing hardship, they can have confidence that the government will be able to reach them immediately after the storm is past.
So you can't judge the response of the government by virtue of what it has done in the past. This is a new level of disaster.
Yo, me can't any live stream right now. If you don't see, say this a man a wicked man, me don't know if you tell us. Let me speak in English for my people that are in the States. If you don't see that the Prime Minister of Jamaica is an evil, wicked bastard, I don't know what to tell you. The man went on CNN and said, we have mounted a great recovery, a preparedness and recovery response. Remember, this was 10 days ago. There was floods happening. People's houses were being removed. This was at the cusp of the storm passing Jamaica. And the man was on the TV saying, we are going to be able, because of our preparedness and recovery strategy, to reach the people immediately after the storm. Based off his own words, we can judge him. He is a failure. His government is a failure. I didn't say it, he said it. And then they're coming now 10 days after or 9 days after to say this.
And that's an important point to make. This is not a normal hurricane. So you can't judge the response of the government by virtue of what it has done in the past. This is a new level of disaster.
Come on, people. In a 10 days, the man mode shift. We are prepared and we have the recovery strategy, and we'll be able to respond to the people immediately. We will reach them immediately. We will reach them immediately. And I'm telling you right now, there's people right now, as we speak, communities that have not been reached. There's people that don't get water or food or clothes yet. You heard what I said? Andrew Holness have helicopters from the United States that he could have deployed from the moment they got here, which was 7 days ago, 6 days ago. And he could have deployed them. People are seeing the helicopters pass over their communities. And they're dying for hunger. And this man is going to tell us that we cannot judge the government response. And here playing politics, moving the ODPEM from its office to his office and throwing them under the bus. Well, he built them up first. Oh, the ODPEM is always on its reputation, but I see gaps and weaknesses and spaces. What the hell does that mean? You saw spaces between the building and the border of the building? You saw gaps between the building and it must not talk about what spaces? If you guys have not had any appointment of heads of the ODPEM, obviously they'll be compromised. But then the fact that they knew that and came out and said we are prepared tells you that they are bold-faced liars, because they know the office of the ODPEM did not have certain heads of people there, because money, the people have left. They want better, and they're not paying them. But the government, the politicians, the Andrew Holness-led government, Nigel Clark, saw fit to. Can you imagine? The government is the employer, the employees of us, the employer. And they took it upon themselves without consenting us to give themselves a 200 to 300% increase. And then their argument was, if you want to have the brightest minds and the most efficient minds and the most efficient work, you have to pay for it. And now we are at a storm seeing nothing but incompetence and inefficiency and just plain wickedness. Enough is enough. There's no excuses. My mother was in a car a while ago, and one of the people in the community we are labor right. Oh, that's why I don't, me and your son have problem, you know. And I don't care if them watching. Don't talk about me to my mother. You understand? Don't talk about me to my mother. Have another conversation. Say, hi mommy, how you doing? Everything good? Don't talk about me to my mother about politics. I don't care if you're watching. You understand? And if you don't have something to say, say it to me. And that goes for everybody. Don't talk about me to my mother about politics. That's why your son, you know, me and your son have problem because it's pure propaganda. What propaganda am I talking about here more than me play Andrew Holness word a while ago? Where him man say, we will be able to reach the people immediately. 9 days after, you know, you cannot judge us because it's the first time we see this time. So you never know that when you make a statement for CNN. You never know. You never know. You never know. So you never know about a category 5 storm. So you should have never assured the people that they can reach them immediately. You gave us false assurance. And they should be punished for it. You misled the people of Jamaica. And you continue to talk about we and the social media misleading people, and you and your government attacking us. You should be punished. You should be locked up in prison for all the people's lives that were lost because of the lack of response of your government. I know of one man riding bicycle 6 miles just to go to get aid, and the man died just before he reached the place to get water and food. Died of exhaustion. Oh my God. And this man is up here smiling like him and his government has done a great job. They're evil. Them then a parliament a smile the other day when there's nothing to smile about, because simultaneously while they were in parliament, people were literally dying for hunger and dying for thirst. Andre said, look, pick them in the ear of him go the other day in Westmoreland. I said, Mr. Stevens, we can't come with you. And this man, and then him come talk about, oh, he can hear the cries of the babies. Andre, honestly, let me tell you something. Me is not no big connector. Like say, I'm not a prophet. I am not none of that. But I can tell you this. Your judgment is going to be severe. God, I got judge you severely, you and your government, for the wickedness when you perform against the people of Jamaica. Me now ask Christ, me I go witness to see it. Me I go witness to that. And I go be judged severely for what you guys are doing. Enough is enough. There's no excuses. No excuses to not reach the people already. This is the age of technology. You can use drone, use boat, use plane. Get the soldier them and walk. And make the soldier them go to the people with backpacks, with food and water in there. Where you think the soldier them are trained for? For those types of terrain. Get the soldier them out from day one, the first day. You understand? Make the soldier them jump out, just like what Dr. Dayton Campbell said. We go and see the man them jumping out of planes. It's not for show, this is the time. The man them should be jumping out of planes from the day Melissa left. The man them should be jumping out of planes with backpacks on, with food, medicine, clothes, and all of that. There's no excuses. What you mean? I come talk about 10 days later about, oh, you know, we have put the structures in place now so things will be smooth. You have to go through the rough patch first. Oh, there was a scramble. See me here? There was a scramble. Like some people in a dead in a scramble. The man, yo, brother, the man is evil, you know, brother. The man evil. Me can't understand how him evil, brother. The man that they smile while saying all of this in front of the press. Like say, you know, I just a fire, one fire burn down there so. and we need to build back our house that one family. He's just on the media misleading the world. If you look at him, you would never know, based off Andrew Holness' countenance, you would never know, and his facial expression, that there's literally children out there sleeping under the elements of the sky. No bed, no nothing, mosquito bite them. Yo, them hungry, them need food, them thirsty, them need water. Dead bodies all around. My God, me I listened to Anissa Bell Rose a while ago. And Zara Burton, God bless her soul, she asked a profound question, and I don't know which idiot. Oh, I'm letting you know. When Zara Burton asked the question about the drunkard them and those persons, whether you are media or government or just a regular bystander and you were laughing, I hope God visit you with him wrath. I really do. I hope God visit you with him wrath. Seriously. You understand? Because I don't see what there is to laugh about. What do scavengers do? What does scavengers do? Scavenger clean up dead carcasses. There is dead carcasses of people and animals in the water, on the land. Some people have to bury them people because it was... Yo, the way the man attack and the man a smile and like everything alright. The man just happy. Andrew Holness just happy. The man don't have, the man is a robot. I swear this dude gotta be AI. This dude has to be AI. And I'm not, listen, some people are saying that the People's National Party need to be like, fight fire with fire. Right now is not the time for fight fire with fire. Right? Right now is not the time for fight fire with fire. Right now is the time to document and do whatever we can to help the people of Jamaica. Advocate, strongly pressure the government. The people that are okay in other parts of Jamaica, I don't know why we're not protesting. I don't know why we're not protesting. The drunkard them, there's no drunkard in Westmoreland. What did they do? Kill off the drunkard them? Did the storm take away the drunkard them? I never heard of this in my life. Anyway, dead body there. You know how you find the fast? You're looking at the sky and you see be a drunkard circle. Quickest way to find them. So what happened to the drunkard them? We then kill them off? And is it that God is punishing the people? And I'm going to put that on God and ask the question, you know. I wonder if God make you drunkard and nobody come out. I just ask some random question right now because I never knew that we had a shortage of drunkard in Jamaica. And what the evil people them do? Capture the drunkard them do? Some type of ritual? I wonder if that are going on in Jamaica. So now the drunkard they missing like the children they missing? What is happening? I don't know nobody where even like drunkard. If you say them I go hunt drunkard, who eat drunkard meat? So all drunkard feel like extinct in Jamaica. No, but me not understand. Me not understand. The Zara Burton asks an excellent question. Where are the drunkards? The drunkard them supposed to eat off the dead flesh fast. From that time, no, the people ain't dead, but there's no drunkards. The people, them see bodies in the water. Even animal, they be drunk out with a pitch man that long time. And lift up that and take you out of the water and go about in business. So what go on with the drunkard them? Was it something in the storm breeze that killed the drunkards? Listen, I want a very, very serious time we're living in. I have to ask every question in the world because this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense, my people. What can go so? I can't believe that the man can't find the drunkard them. And I'm not laughing matter, this serious. Where are the drunkards? Me hear Anissa Bell Rose say, to all this government that wicked are the drunkard they left them. The drunkard then gonna seek greener pastures. Jamaica then don't feel appreciated under the JLP government. Not because them have a birth certificate of Jamaica make them Jamaican, them gone. Eh? Mighty God of Daniel, no sir. Me could hear what that lady has said, because it's serious. That lady.
Didn't really make sense.
I'm seeing something here which says that the realignment establishes a single point for emergency logistics and further tightens coordination with relief partners. So there is already a single point for coordination. It's called the National Emergency Operations Center, and in all emergency management doctrine, the Emergency Operations Center is a center from which all response is coordinated.
So
and the National Emergency Operations Center.
So ladies and gentlemen, there is a central space for disaster coordination operations in Jamaica already. So Andrew is saying they need to have a central space. There's one already. This lady is exposing it. She's exposing it.
Level of disaster. Court, provide the resources and encourage and acknowledge the efforts of the persons who are now on the front line of Jamaica's response to the disaster. Thank you for the question.
And in fact, I spoke to the former head of ODPEM, Dr. Barbara Kirby.
The former head of ODPEM. So this person knows exactly what they're talking about. Remember, 45 years ago, over 45 years, ODPEM has been around. So this person knows what they're talking about. So let's listen to her.
Who said the reasons that were given for this move of ODPEM didn't really make sense.
I'm seeing something here which says that the realignment establishes a single point for emergency logistics and further tightens coordination with relief partners. So there is already a single point for coordination. It's called the National Emergency Operations Center, and in all emergency management doctrine, the Emergency Operations Center is a center from which all response is coordinated. And the National Emergency Operations Center, as with all EOCs, has a space for the policy level and a space for the operational level. And there are separate spaces, but it allows ease of communication between operations and policy level if you have them in the same building.
All right, so me go and do a little research. So it says here, the National Emergency Coordination Center, NEOC, in Jamaica is the National Emergency Operations Center, which is the nerve center for coordinating disaster response and recovery efforts across the island. So what is Andrew Holness talking about? Why he moved the office of the ODPEM into his office to have a logistics center pretty much. She's saying that logistically, physically, the entire building deals with all of that within the building. The NEOC is activated by government during emergencies and is multi-agency, which representatives from various ministries, emergency services, and other organizations. It operates under the umbrella of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. Mighty God of Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, the structure is already in place. Andrew Holness has been lying to the people, talking about he is there preparing and coordinating and all of that. The thing is there already. Why would you reinvent the wheel? Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me calm down. Ladies and gentlemen, all well-thinking Jamaicans, I want to know if you please wipe on the break clean of color and party. I want you to tell me if this makes sense in a Jesus name. One storm leak 10 days ago. And after the storm leak, there is a system already in place that is 45 years experience, over 45 years experience. And Andrew Holness, in his infinite lack of wisdom, the person that texted me on the 451 a while ago to say join, text me on WhatsApp. Don't text me on straight. Okay, text me on WhatsApp if possible, because WhatsApp is where you would join anyway. So we have the National Emergency Coordination Center. National Emergency Coordination Center. Focus on the last two words. Coordination Center. It is activated by government. So all Andrew Holness had to do was activate the National Emergency Coordination Center. People in my green, we have green blood in our me. I talk to you specifically slowly because I don't want to miss a step. The National Emergency Coordination Center is activated by Andrew Holness government, because I'm the government now. Why didn't he activate it? And is a multi-agency with representatives from various ministries. That means any ministry that is involved in the emergency coordination, the National Emergency Coordination, they would go to the National Emergency Coordination Center, where everything can be central and they can all work together to help the people of Jamaica. Some of the you have emergency services and other organizations like Food for the Poor. All of them would operate where? At the National Coordination Emergency Center. People, there's no excuses. There is no excuses. It says here, thank you so much, that person that just texted me now over by the WhatsApp. Big up on yourself. And thanks for watching. And make sure you guys hit the like button. We have 210 people over by Bolo in our clips. Please hit the like button over there. Hold on there. Why is this phone freezing? What is happening? Guys, smash the like button. Somewhere up here, so you will see a thumbs up symbol. Somewhere at the top of the screen, you will see a thumbs up symbol. All you have to do is press the thumbs up symbol and you'll be able to hit the like button. Anyway, now, the green people, let me talk to Uno. We are different Andrew Holness. This National Emergency Coordination Center operates under the umbrella of the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM. The structure is already set, my good people. All they needed to do was activate the structure that was already set. All the logistics could have been done in the National Emergency and Coordination Center. You know what this does? This further proves or validates my opinion that Andrew Holness government is delaying the response to the people in the affected areas on purpose. He is delaying, in my opinion, this validates my opinion that this wicked, evil government is delaying the response to the people in St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Westmoreland, Clarendon, St. Catherine, St. Mary, Portland, everywhere that is affected, Trelawney. All of the areas that is affected. It further validates my point that Andrew Holness government is doing this on purpose. These guys are evil. People, you know what is coming? Potentially. All types of medical disasters. All types of outbreak. Because the people are in the areas eating food, drinking dirty water in some cases, where dead bodies are in. People, Andrew Holness are wicked. And him don't reach the people them yet. What if people don't get reached yet? And this man took 7 days to come and announce to us that now things will run smoothly. All he had to do was activate the National Emergency Coordination Center. You see, reading is fundamental, you know. Reading is fundamental. And I'm going to tell you, say, a people without vision definitely are going to perish. The Bible can never wrong. When you look at these facts, you are going to argue with me, say, the government intention is not to have the people ended off. As me say, only God alone can come tell me, say, no, so you go. At this point, me see enough, me read enough. Only God alone can come tell me, say, these people are not trying to kill off the people of Jamaica. And if that does not anger you, because you feel say them a PMP or them a labor right, you are the problem. And I hope God visits you swiftly with judgment. I pray that God visits you swiftly with judgment. Swiftly. This is ridiculous. Listen more from the lady. This was a former head of the ODPEM. She knows what she's talking about. I'm still going to do the research. She mentioned the center. I'm going to look feed on Google. I'm going to see what they do. I'm going to see what operate and all. And Holness not activate this and go change. Why would you reinvent the wheel the day after a storm? A massive storm, a massive hurricane, category 5. Never been seen before. Why would you reinvent the wheel? You see, if Andrew Holness was preparing for a category 5 storm 1 year ago, and he was putting in the proper structures in place, and decides, say, yes, we have the National Emergency Coordination Center, that is right here, but you know what? I think we should be like 3 more, so you can spread across the island more or whatever. Whatever. If you had started that last year or 5 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, we would have a total different conversation. But you do not reinvent the wheel a day after a hurricane category 5. You don't do that. That is what you call, you know, when you go to a hotel and the hotel worker, them a move slow. They come and working, but them a move slow. Sabotage, that is it. That is guaranteed to slow down efforts to reach the people in time. And then he wants to say don't judge the government when he came on CNN and told us that he would be able to reach the people immediately. Well, guess what? If them did use the National Emergency Coordination Center, they might have. Because JDF would have to be there. Everybody, the police would have to be there, the commissioner. Everybody would be communicating with each other. Boom. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do some recon work first. Let's get some drones. Let's get some helicopters. Carry some, you know, some food and water supplies with us, and even on the recon, and drop off in certain places where we see people. Obviously, it's not going to be enough because a scope will find out the full damage. Right? And by the time you go and you get some things, and you look and you say, okay, well, we carry this, obviously, we didn't know it's not going to be enough. So now we know so we're going to need 21,000 pounds of this food and water and medicine and them something there. Because we have such and such people based off the election that just happened earlier. We know how much people living in the area and registered. Right? So we know, say, boom, we need to carry this amount of food and water. Brother, simple, bro.
So I'm not quite sure why this realignment is going to change. Is going to change that.
Exactly.
And something else about the JDF and ODPEM needing to work together closely. But that has always been the case. The JDF has...
The lady said something about the JDF and ODPEM working closely. The lady said that's always been the case. And I would think that. Why wouldn't the JDF and ODPEM? It is impossible for a disaster response team to work without the JDF in any country, or you know, the police force or the soldiers in any country. It is impossible. There's nowhere that is the case. So how comes 45 years now ODPEM has been operating and Andrew Holness want us to believe that somehow, some way they were operating without the JDF? Well, Andrew Holness has smoke. Him real? It got to be AI. This Andrew Holness where they in front of we attack every day have to be AI. Them have one Android attack to it. And if people think I'm crazy, just know say there's countries right now that have that have ministers of government that are robots. Please, AI, just please understand that. Just please understand that. So I'm telling you, this guy gotta be AI. Kerry, how you doing? He has to be AI.
Always assisted.
The JDF has always worked with the ODPEM. So what they come with that?
With relief operations.
Madness.
It doesn't take the head of ODPEM to be a JDF soldier or airman or sailor for there to be close cooperation between ODPEM and the JDF. That has always existed. So I'm really not sure what these reasons are supposed to do. So they're not convincing, in other words. And
listen to me, miss. You're absolutely on point. Andrew Holness just made up something and going to talk in front of the press. Foolishness in my talk. And you see foolishness when him talk? Unfortunately, the people are gobbling it up. You green blood people. Because on the worship Andrew, you know, on the blood green. The blood where God go no, not the inner uno no more. A green blood on the have now, you know. So when it's like, let me tell you what you guys are. You guys are, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys are clones that are connected to Andrew. And he is the main server. So what comes out of his mouth, it is hardwired in your brain and you regurgitate it and don't think at all. Uno not done, you know. Uno is just a brain dead entity. Uno not dunce. Uno just brain dead. In other words, uno brain don't have the capacity to think for itself. It is fed what to think from Andrew because your brain is operated from his brain and what comes out of his mouth. You green people me talking. Prior to the CP3 wagon, bro, prior to the hurricane, the spokesperson for the army stated that all assets of the JDF are secured. Okay? This was at a press conference. I'm sure if you go back and look at those press conferences and look at what they're saying now, 10 days after, it is very interesting. Very interesting.
to me, neither are they logical. It will require significant logistics experience. Okay, that's fine. Bring a JDF rep into the National Emergency Operations Center to do that. Because all the agencies, private sector, everybody is represented in the EOC, so there should be no lack of logistics experience in the National Emergency Operations Center because the JDF should be there.
Another one of my concerns has been
Wow. Let me hear this next concern now. So what Andrew talking about is foolishness. Now, ABR News. Let me go to ABR News where this is concerned. ABR News. ABR News TV. Alright. ABR News TV. Yes, right here, sir.
And when me tell you, say this government run down everything or what is left of, some of their premises. And so, a whole heap of livestock Thompson has emergency logistics, right? So with the change comes the appointment of a JDF Commander Alvin Gill.
Oh, so the foolishness that Andrew Holness came up with was just to hire one of his men. That's it. It's all about control. So, A JDF, you honestly say the man them turn it place now one military, one police state. You guys see that the government is turning Jamaica into a police state in a dictatorship state? People, I want you guys to do a little bit of research. Go and chat GDP or GPT or whatever. AI, go on and ask them, how does a dictator create a put the pieces in place for a dictatorship to form? Me I go do it right now while me play ABR.
Who is now the Director General at ODPEM, while the former acting head Richard Thompson has now been reassigned to the office of the Prime Minister to assist in establishment of strategic frameworks and systems for national relief and recovery efforts. And when I tell you most independent entities have been watered down under this administration, when a lack of funding is all sorts of things, just for them to basically man it or use, a politician to man the entity. And so, Dr. Barbara Kirby, who is a...
Hold on there, people. We just do a quick Google search. Question was, how do you put the pieces in play to create a dictatorship state? Listen to this. Establishing a dictatorship typically involves a combination of seizing control of the state's apparatus and systematically dismantling or corrupting institutions that provide checks and balances. Key steps and tactics used to put pieces in play to create, consolidate a dictatorship includes seizing power, military, right at the top. I knew it. Military. Notice how close Andrew Holness is, like a him run the JCF, like a him run the JDF. You don't notice? You remember the meeting that Andrew Holness had with the Commissioner of Police January of this year? Who remember? Do you guys remember that after that, Kevin Ellis, what's up? Do you guys remember that after that, you guys saw an uptick in police unaliving the young men in Jamaica? Sheila, what's up? Do you guys remember these things? Or is it just me? The first thing is military coup. This is a common historical method where armed forces overthrow existing government. In this case, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Holness already have the armed forces them under control. It's not about overthrowing the government. It's about overthrowing we the people of Jamaica and keeping us in check. Democratic backsliding. Leaders are most likely to establish authoritarian rule. Like what? Going against the Constitution several times. Gradually subverting democratic norms and institutions from within. Hey, me done here, man. Me done. Me not do no more. Me done. If you don't wake up by now, you not gonna work out. People, me say, go up on Google and type in how to create a dictatorship state. And I want you to read for yourselves. And then I want you to look at what Andrew Holness has been doing. Andrew Holness government created a NIDS that is unconstitutional, that violates our privacy rights. It says here, the first statement of creating or establishing a dictatorship. Establishing a dictatorship typically involves a combination of seizing control of state apparatus and systematically dismantling or corrupting institutions that provide checks and balances on power. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. The phone nearly shut off a while ago. Sorry about that. Again, establishing a dictatorship typically involves a combination of seizing control of state and apparatus and systematically dismantling our corrupted institution that provides checks and balances. Ladies and gentlemen, what has the government of Jamaica under Andrew Holness, one of the things that they have been trying to do as swiftly as possible? Change the constitution. Now, some of the suggestions that they have made to change the constitution, it doesn't raise your eyebrow. It don't raise your eyebrow. One of them is taking out what? Impeachment. That means you as the government official can do anything and get away with it. You'll never go to prison while you work and we pay you a salary while you retire. Even if you did do wrong by the country. Even if you did commit treason, you can't go to jail. The man created a NIDS originally that violated our privacy rights, that would have locked us up if we didn't conform or take what he wanted us to take, which is to go fully digital, which is foolishness. You cannot go fully digital. Look at the situation that we're in right now. Cash is king. We need a community, a globe that still uses cash. If it's not cash, it's trading. We used to trade. So you have orange and me have tomato. You have yam and me have banana. Trade. Something of value for something else of equal value. We need cash. Right now, cash is king in these types of situation. Can you imagine if the needs was gone through? Talk about people dying for hunger. The needs can be used to suppress the people. Because if they don't want you to have access to buy food in another parish, they can shut down your card. If they don't want you to buy food, period, they can shut it down. Because you come on here, right? And you tell the truth about the wickedness when them are going with like me, so they can just go so Babson now. Oh yeah man, we are going to punish him, man. I bet we shut him up. I bet we shut him up. He can't pay and bill them. He get evicted out of time house. People want to wake up. The dictatorship is being formed right under our noses. Andrew Holness is in bed with everybody. Israel of all the places, for crying out loud. Israel, China, USA. I don't know how you must sleep with all of them the beast there. At one time. He is a political prostitute. The man is smiling in these conferences, in these public forums. Smiling, waving his hand. Oh, there was a, you know, talking about how he can hear the dead babies, the babies crying, I mean. Years ago, him could have hear the dead baby them a cry. When him they want the PMP to remove the Minister of Health. But him couldn't hear the dead baby them a cry in June. When 24 babies died at Jubilee Hospital in 25 days. And they blamed the parents. And they blamed the babies for being born prematurely. You can see the man has been dismantling institutions. The man has the FID has been corrupted with the appointment of Dennis Chung, an associate of Andrew Holness, who is supposed to do what? Investigate him. After saying that nothing is wrong with having 28 bank accounts, he doesn't see anything wrong with what the Prime Minister did. You guys don't see the erosion of the democracy coming out and telling the world that they don't need the opposition, omitting the opposition from the response. Mark Gordon has to be begging them publicly if the government will allow us. What can go so? If the government will allow us, the opposition, to be a part of helping the Jamaican people to get back on their feet. How you doing, Empress 13? Bless up yourself, mama. I know he is attacking the ODPEM. And he has successfully damaged that entity and crippled it and have it under his control in his office. I know the people will suffer. You will see. You will see. The man is a wicked man. Can you imagine if there wasn't a Mark Golding and the People's National Party when they came in with the needs? I don't think you guys understand where we would be right now, you know. We don't need for reading, you know. The ones that are not reading, you know. I'm telling you all the while, and if you don't read, listen to the people that we are read to, you know. And I explain the thing them, and I show you the definition of the word and everything. I make you know, say, watch out. People, if the man then did have the needs in place, you know how much elderly people that get disenfranchised? Because the whole system was digital. That's how you need to understand. So, you would lose your money in your bank account if you never go digital. The police, based off of the law where them come in with, you would be in prison. You would be owing the government this amount of money because you didn't take the needs. A lot of people are not digitally savvy, like the elderly people, even some big people too. Right? Listen, your money would be in jeopardy of being stolen. Hackers. How much time did Jamaica main systems get hacked before the election? So can you imagine what would happen to your accounts if Jamaica was fully digital? People, suicide rates would have gone up if NIDS was implemented. Me now ask Christ. The amount of people would lose everything and just give up on life. Right now, some people are praying that right now in a disaster after this time. Yeah. And we are praying away that so that demon removed from the island, the demon of suicide. People are under serious mental strain, and the government is going to tell us that we should not judge them based off their lack of response because it's the first time they're dealing with a category 5. I just a number upon the hurricane, brother. The damage is done. Gilbert did the damage. We experience how to respond to damage. It's simple. Get to the people them. Technology has advanced. We have more technology now to get to the people them. There's no excuses. Whether by boat, whether by air or by land. Get to the people them. What you tell me say? You don't have parachute. You can't parachute, you can't drop the goods them in the air them in maroon and release the parachute upon them so they land. What? Yo! You more me think about it, you know, man. Listen, 6 days ago, the USA come with relief, you know. Equipment, food, water. And upon the 10th day, people still not get food and water. Place still maroon. What kind of excuse you can give government for that? What kind of excuse can you give the government of Jamaica for that? After Hurricane Melissa, 10 days. How can you in good conscience, all of you that are, listen to me, me no business who say, I don't care what, listen, I do not care what you want to think of me. You see, all of the people that is making excuses for Andrew Holness government, lack of response, you see the next disaster that is ordained and scheduled for Jamaica in judgment, I hope that you are the first ones affected. I pray that you are the first ones affected. You know why? At that point, you're going to now understand and experience what these people have experienced. And by then, you can live through that and understand what we have been saying the entire time. This is not about green or orange. This is about every Jamaican that is affected. Every single one. Sean Hall, big up. Every single Jamaican that has been affected. That is what this is about. Mighty God of Daniel, man. Romish Entertainment organized more than the government. How is that possible? If Romish Entertainment got the aid from the USA and all these other countries, ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica would have good today. You know what would have happened? I mean, listen. Let me tell you something. Me have confidence in a Romish Entertainment say the people would have get evacuated already. They would have carried them come a town and then place in some of them center there, have them well sort out, comfortable, the baby them and everything, clean up with and go on, right? Soldier them and soda down there, and I make sure say clean up and certain things secure and them kind of way there, right? With and go on in the area. Some of the man them were strong and also them good and food and soda there for them stay and help the soldier them, and all of Jamaica would just come together and build back St. Elizabeth in the next few months. And build back Westmoreland and build back this up. Plain, yo, may I tell you say, if Romish Entertainment was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, he would have organized nobody, everybody would have get rich already. Me not ask, yo, listen me no man, me not ask nobody that. Suppose you see how Romish operate. Film look operation. Film look a big operation. If Romish Entertainment they have the resources of the government, I'm telling you, the people them would have get rich already long time. It wouldn't take 7 days. Me know say Belgium bought 409 generator, but I see in place them sign the Samoa agreement. You never know. I see in place them sign the Samoa agreement, you know. No man, me see when it up, man. No man, me see when it up, man. See when it happened. I was aware when it happened. Unaware, no man. Thank God for that. Everything would have crashed. So me a hotspot my other phone over here. So I'm gonna go outside. Where the signal is stronger. Generator come back. Raslin say yes. Generator come back. Wait for the Wi-Fi if you come back too. Why may I tell you big up my brother, man. Big up God. I God more than anything else. Them wicked that me know. Hey, you think I joke? Valerie, how you doing? Valerie, my name. Jazzy. What's up, Jazzy? God bless you too. God bless you too. God bless you all. As I was saying, if Romish Entertainment was in charge, Lord have mercy, gone again. We can't do this. Gone again, people. It's shipping in and out. You guys should be here still, guys. Yeah, you guys should be here still. The level of evil that I'm witnessing from this government it's unheard of. I never knew that we would. You have a question? I just seen last night. How is Andrew Holness' wife the Speaker of the House? That is crazy. Jazzy Joyful. We have so much problems in this country, and the main problem is, Classy, how are you doing? The main problem is Andrew Holness and his wife. One of the natural signs was anytime somebody dissed him, them get locked up. Talk about it. Talk about it. Me say, Ramesh Entertainment is with the limited resources that he has. And it's not just him. That's how I know that the government is not incompetent. They are wicked. That is. I never liked how things were going with the PMP. We are back on Bolo in our clips because I see it keep dropping. You guys can get the likes up, man. Oh God. The people them. So much people watching and them don't hit the like button. That's crazy. And them I watch for long, you know. I had over 240 people watching on Bolo VNR clips. And Bolo VNR clips only have 6,000 subs. 6,000 plus subs. And on my main channel that has 33,000 subs. And that is an achievement. 33,000 subs. We hit 33,000 subs yesterday. Or, yes, last night or something. We hit 33,000 subs. I guess they ran out of fuel because the generator was bucking. It was bucking. People, I think I've made my point. I have much more to say, but the way how this thing is going in a